Then after a month, President invoked Article 356 based on the report from the governor. So the governor will be sending the report to the president. President invoked Article 356. Then this Article 356 is nothing but what? President's rule. So this got extended up to 2019. Almost 1 year there was president rule. Then what happened? After a couple of months in 2019, President issued that constitution order, which applied all the provisions wherein Indian Constitution, provisions of the Indian Constitution, wherein it inserted a new provision also, wherein there should be to abrogate. A discussion began in 2019 after 1 year of president rule, saying that we have to abrogate Article 370, the special status given to Jammu and Kashmir. Then all the narratives began. So there was protest, there was binaries, there was discussion that is happening, and finally the state was made into 2 union territories. After that, there were many petitions asking, is the abrogation of Article 370 was right, constitutionally correct? Now, when we see the recent verdict of the Supreme Court upholds that yes, the abrogation is correct, and it becomes the integral part of the state becomes the integral part of Union of India. This is what we have seen the narratives from the past 2-3 years continuously, at least from 2019, right? So coming back to the static part here, these are some of the key points. You already know about it, but still let us revise quickly some of the aspects. So Article 356 of the Constitution of India is based on Section 93 of the Government of India Act 1935. Remember, what is the background of this particular provision of Constitution? Article 356, President rule, is based on one of the previous acts, the pre-independence acts, wherein the prominent one is Government of India Act of 1935. So according to Article 356, President's rule can be imposed on any state of India on the grounds of the failure of the constitutional machinery. So we see this stage-wise, as if like that is what the Supreme Court is questioning. Is it staged already? First, the chief minister resigns, then the governor mentions that there is a failure of the constitutional machinery, then the president rule begins. So that is the question here. Is there a subsequent nexus between this or among this? So there can be, under Article 356, it can be of 2 types. First is, if the president receives a report from the state governor, which happened in Jammu and Kashmir, or is otherwise is convinced, the president itself is convinced that the state situation is such that the state government cannot carry on the governance according to the provisions of the Constitution. Either the governor has to send a report to the president, or the president is convinced or satisfied that there is a failure of the constitutional machinery in the state, and then the Article 356 can be invoked. Article 365, there is also a clause wherein, as per this article, President's rule can be imposed if any state fails to comply with all the directions given by the Union on matters if it is empowered to. There is one more type where this President's rule can also happen. So in simple words, President rule is when the state government is suspended, central government directly administers. As simple as that. Correct. So it is also called as the state emergency or constitutional emergency. Now, for your task is, though the news is very simple, it is just the remark of the Supreme Court, you have to look into Article 356, the role of the president, powers of the president, and what is its background. Some of the highlights has been discussed here, as it is, though it is current affairs, we also touch some of the static part. That is your task to go and revise the same. Clear with this? This is the first topic for today, wherein please also look into a special status of Jammu and Kashmir and what is the current status and all the peripheral aspects. Keep a tab on it. Definitely, which is controversial, such questions will not be asked. The static part only will be asked. You can look into the background and all that. Okay. So this is what we have under this topic. Moving on. We know that recently Telecom bill, Lok Sabha passed Telecom bill. As of now, it is bill only. It is not an act. So it needs an consent, the other house also. As of now, it is a bill. So in the past, from past 2 years, we see most of the acts are being amended, are changed, especially the year-old or the colonial acts. What was what do you call as introduced by British. Even in the previous sessions, we have discussed regarding even IPC, CRPC, Code of Civil Procedure. All these are being changed, and we have different names also. So the bill is being discussed, or if you take other acts also like Forest Conservation Act, Mining Bill, Mining Act, or WPA is amended. So many amendments we are looking into it. So in order to replace this colonial act, there is a new act that is going to come. As of now, it is still a bill. Okay, so I'm not discussing more about it until there will be negotiations. There will be joint parliamentary sittings. There will be discussions happening, round of meetings. Only then the bill becomes act. We know that, with the assent, of course. So as of now, we will see what is the idea of the government. Why government thinks we need such a act or bill, Telecom Bill of 2023. Okay, so first thing is it aims to replace the existing laws, including the old Indian Telegraph Act. Telegraph Act was there, so we have to replace it. That's the thing. Then the bill of 2023, Telecom Bill, provides a mechanism to exercise the right way for laying telecom infrastructure in public as well as private property. One thing is evident in all the acts, in all the bill, is including more private players, or we can say their presence, and government focuses on to be pro-economic development. Oh, yes, of course, there will be negotiations, there will be criticism, there will be debates, there is no doubt at all. But yet, there will be both pros and cons. Always being an aspirant, you should look into both the advantages and disadvantages. When we say critically evaluate, you have to critically evaluate. There will be good and bad, both. Okay, it is not that being biased. What is good in it, what is bad in it. In both the way, you have to look into any policies of the government, right? So, what are the old acts that the bill seeks to replace? It seeks to replace the Indian Telegraph Act of 1885. Remember the acts: Indian Wireless Telegraphy Act of 1933 and Telegraph Wires Unlawful Possession Act of 1950. When we look at all the acts and policies, of course, the very idea of the British was to disrupt the communication that was happening between, or to have a regulation over the communication that was happening during the freedom struggle. That is why most of the acts, of the colonial acts, were introduced according to their convenience. So today, time has changed, we have evolved, it is a total different scenario altogether, and we cannot actually go along with the 100-odd-year-old acts, which is totally irrelevant in the era of 5G. We are moving towards 5G, we are in the era of artificial intelligence. So it does not make any sense we still follow the older acts. That is the reason government wants to introduce it. But there are certain key features, some of the highlights, wherein the bill, when it is presented, this is how it will be changed. So one of them, it is on the highlighted one only. You can see the bill seeks to reform and simplify the regulatory and licensing regime for telecommunications and remove bottlenecks in creating telecom infrastructure. So to simplify the regulatory and licensing regime, that is especially for private sector, in order to take license or permission, it is a hassle. It is a very long procedure. In order to improvise the connectivity in India, this has to be liberalized. It has to be hassle-free, is what the government thinks. That is the reason this has been introduced, is what the government proposes or government convinces. So what are the key points? What are the key features? What is it aiming at? So the Telecom Bill provides clarity for satellite broadband services, an emerging field of telecom that is expected to expand connectivity to remote areas. So more services, satellite broadband services has to be, more satellite broadband services has to be brought in or promoted. That is why they are regulating, they are bringing this bill. The spectrum could be assigned through auction and administrative process. Before, it was such a regulation wherein through auction and administrative process, and also especially the government regulation was so stringent that less likely the private owners got an accessibility to develop their business. Today, there is a need of both public-private partnership. Government alone cannot do it, so it is liberalizing. It is easing up some norms. Then provisions such as applying for licenses and permits for telecom operators have been simplified. Before, it was applications has to be submitted, more details has to be submitted, only then the licenses were given for the telecom operators in the private sector. Today, through digitization, through online process, everything is possible. That is what bill says. Until it is implemented, these are the features. Then the bill has stopped short of extending to telecom adjacent services. So the idea here is, when we say bill has stopped short of extending to telecom adjacent services, before everything and anything under telecom sector was under one aspect. But here, as of now, OTT is also growing. So it is tried to not to make stringent laws against the OTT, where it is actually again providing a platform for various private parties by various private players. So that is the reason wherein this is also brought in. As of now, there are other points also. There can be criticism, key issue analysis, and everything. As it is still a bill, only a bill, we need not worry about it, because questions on bill need not be asked, but questions can be asked on this Indian Telegraph Act. Who brought it? Who any Governor General associated with it? So such questions can be asked. That is the possibility here. Or else, until it is an act, don't worry about it. Okay. So this is what we have. Then moving on to history topic, that is Guru Tegh Bahadur was recently in news, and we will see some of the key points why this person was in news and what is it. So it was on Indian Express, this article, Guru Tegh Bahadur's valiant life and death, and why there is confusion over his martyrdom date. This person, who is a very prominent person in Sikh religion or a Sikh belief, this person's name was recently recalled or considered as martyrdom, and also wherein there is a confusion over his date, like when he was killed. Martyrdom means he has sacrificed his life for something else, or actually a particular aspect wherein he is being a victim of some brutal ruler. So whose name can we actually associate with this person? In history, if you have studied, there is one. Yes. Whom are we referring to here? Yes. When we speak of Guru Tegh Bahadur, which is the ruler we actually associate to? It is Aurangzeb. So anyway, you can interact. There is no issue. You can interact with me. That is why we are on Zoom now. I think you have asked that it is better to interact, so we can join Zoom. So make sure that you can answer in between, so that it will be an interactive session, so it will not be a monologue. Okay. Yes. Let us look into it anyway. Recently, Prime Minister Narendra Modi recalled the martyrdom of Guru Tegh Bahadur, calling the 9th Sikh Guru a beacon of courage and strength. So first point what we have to look into is Guru Tegh Bahadur is the 9th Sikh Guru. Okay, the first point. After Guru Nanak Dev, the first Sikh Guru, we know Guru Nanak, it was Guru Tegh Bahadur who travelled the most among the 10 living Sikh Gurus. So among all the other, apart from Guru Nanak, Guru Tegh Bahadur is known for his vast travels in propagating the belief, propagating the philosophy, whatever they follow. Now, why it is in news? Because recently, the Home Minister Union Home Minister mentioned the name of Guru Tegh Bahadur and also said that there is a close nexus, close relation between or linked to, this person is linked to Kashmir Pandits. Even it is in the news also, it is given the same thing. You can see here. And how it was linked to Kashmir Pandits. So first thing is, one should remember Guru Tegh Bahadur was the Sikh Guru who was beheaded by Aurangzeb. That is how you remember, like flow chart, a person's events, and who are the other people who are associated with that event. Very, very important. If you remember like a flow chart, it is very easy for you. Okay, remember Guru Tegh Bahadur. This person is very prominent in history as he was beheaded by the Mughal king Aurangzeb. Now, the next point also given in the news is, according to Sikh sources, Dasam Granth, Gurbilas Patshahi Dasvi, and Bansawali Nama. So these are the Kashmiri Pandits we are talking about. Need not worry about the names here. Just remember Kashmiri Pandits came to Guru Tegh Bahadur at Anandpur Sahib to seek protection from the forced conversion to Islam by Aurangzeb's men. Now this is history. Let us look like from the historical perspective. So Kashmiri Pandits were the victims, or they were under the pressure by the Aurangzeb's men to convert into Islam. This was there. So why they are, you want me to speak in Kannada also? Okay. If it is not a trouble, because there are non-Kannadigas also, I thought, let me speak in one language. If you're okay, then I'll use both the languages. Okay, if you're comfortable. So illenaitu antandre, Guru Tegh Bahadur, when he was in Anandpur Sahib, hope I'll mix it up. Is it okay? Okay. So, Sikh Guru Hatra, 3-4 Kashmir Pandits join ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. Join ಅಂದ್ರೆ they will ask for the help. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಔರಂಗಜೇಬ್ ಜನರು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಇಸ್ಲಾಂಗೆ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಅಸ್. ಈ ಆನಂದಪುರ್ ಸಾಹಿಬ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೂ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, only if there are any non-Kannadigas, if you find it difficult, please let me. Okay, we will use both the languages. I used to do it, but I thought let me be in one language so that everybody are comfortable. No issues. Okay, provided neevunu interact madidre matra, that is the condition. Okay, yes. So illenaitu ee Anandpur Sahib anno jagaದಲ್ಲಿ, this is a what you call as Gurudwara or a holy place. Sahib, when they use it, so these people will ask the help of Guru Tegh Bahadur. They'll come. So the Guru assured the Pandits, the Kashmir Pandits ke Tegh Bahadur Guru en heltare antandre, I will protect you. And when he reached New Delhi, he was arrested along with the disciples of some of the disciples. Yaar irtare Kashmir Pandits yaar irtare, ಅವ್ರ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದಾಗ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ, ಸೊ ಇವ್ರ ಡಿಸೈಪಲ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ಗುರು ತೇಗ್ ಬಹದ್ದೂರ್ನು ಅರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಮೂರು ಡಿಸೈಪಲ್ಸ್ ಯಾರಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಈ ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ್ ಪಂಡಿತ್ ಮೂರು ಡಿಸೈಪಲ್ಸ್ ಯಾರಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ behead. So they will be killed, basically executed. They'll be executed one by one to threaten Guru Tegh Bahadur. Guru Tegh Bahadur na threaten ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ಡಿಸೈಪಲ್ಸ್ ನ ಒಬ್ರೊಬ್ರಾಗಿ behead ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, Aurangzeb's people or Aurangzeb himself. So first ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, it is not direct execution. First, actually, Guru Tegh Bahadur was arrested along with the disciples to make sure that there was a great influence on this person. So he did not actually behead him literally immediately. Then he remained very steadfast. I mean, he did not change at all. Guru Tegh Bahadur ಏನು ಅವರ ನಿರ್ಧಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಆ ನಂತರ behead ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ he was executed. So this happened. This is in history. So considering this, considering this, we look into it wherein how it is linked to Guru Tegh Bahadur and Kashmir Pandits. There was a mention by Union Home Minister, and let it be. There is a confusion over his martyrdom date because the calendars they use, the Sikh people, Sikh region in Punjab province, what they use, the calendar is totally different. Gregorian calendar is totally different, right? So because of this confusion, there was what do you call as a debate over when the martyrdom happened. How he was killed was evident, but when he was killed, idra ಬಗ್ಗೆ confusions ಇದೆ ಅಂತ news ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ವಿಷಯ. So, but you have to look into the entire aspect of Guru Tegh Bahadur or Guru Nanak or Sikhism, then Aurangzeb also. That is what mostly in from medieval India, questions are very less questions are asked. But even then, from this area, there is a chance. Okay, let's look into some of the key points regarding this person. Hope you got the idea. This is only about when any ministers, especially Prime Minister, Union Minister, invokes any name, some names like this, historical people, then you have to look into it. Okay. So his earlier name was Tegh. He built the city of Anandpur Sahib. It was Anandpur Sahib was a city, and today there is a Gurudwara also. He was the first person to be arrested. He was first arrested by Mughals in 1665. 1665 ಅಲ್ಲಿ first time arrest ಆಗಿದ್ದ. So execution came 10 years later, as I told you already. To threaten him one by one, there was execution of Kashmiri Pandits. Over a period of time, as the Guru did not change his stance, in 1675, on the orders of Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb in Delhi, he was executed. This is the reason. This is the historical perspective of his death. Apart from that, the other aspects. The Guru was also a great poet, and his hymns are part of Guru Granth Sahib, the holy book of Sikh. His poems and hymns are also part of this holy book. And apart from that, you can see the Islamic Hijri calendar was in force when Guruji was beheaded. When Guruji was beheaded, it was under the Mughal rule. Islamic Hijri calendar, adana use ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ನಂತರ Sikh historians ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬರೆದ್ರು ಕಥೆಗಳು. So lunar and solar Vikrami Samvat calendar ಅಂತ use ಮಾಡೋದು traditionally, but was used in Indian subcontinent, because until the Mughal influence was there, they couldn't use it. They had to use the Islamic calendar only. Then ಈ calendar use ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಬಂದು ಗ್ರೆಗೋರಿಯನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲೆಂಡರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಡೇಟ್ ಒಂದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಯರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೇಮ್, ಡೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಹೋಪ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್? So this is about Guru Tegh Bahadur, who was recently in news, and you have to keep a tab on it. Not only this, just go back to Sikhism as a topic and revise it. Hope it is clear. Is this percentage of Kannada is okay for you all? You can manage. Sometimes I'll get carried away and just speak in English, but I'll try. Okay. Now we will speak of governance. Bharat NCAP was recently in news. So usually some tests, some standards, emission standards or energy standards and all, you should be knowing. So this is one unique level of what do you call it, standards that is being set by India for the very first time. We will look what is it. Now Bharat NCAP, the news is regarding completes the maiden round of crash tests. Results expected later this month. Andre innunu try ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನ ಭಾರತ್ NCAP ಅನ್ನೋದು. What is this Bharat NCAP? We will see. So Bharat NCAP stands for Bharat New Car Assessment Program. Bharat New Car Assessment Program has been successfully completed recently. On the testing, idra keಳಗೆ start ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಏನು ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, among the maiden batch of the cars crash tested are models from prominent original equipment manufacturers like Maruti Suzuki, Tata Motors and Kia India. These are the prominent automobile manufacturers in India. ಈ ಕಾರ್ ಕ್ರಾಶ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಭಾರತ್ NCAP ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ನ ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಕ್ರಾಶ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಹೌ ಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ದ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಇಸ್, ಹೌ ಸೇಫ್ ದ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಂಪನಿಗಳು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ಈ ಕಂಪನಿಗಳು ಮಾತ್ರ, ಮಾರುತಿ ಸುಜುಕಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಟಾಟಾ ಮೋಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಿಯಾ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. So from the exam perspective, why this is important, you should be knowing some awareness. What is this Bharat NCAP? If I may ask you, what is this Bharat Stage 6 anta ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನದು? Bharat Stage 6, BS6 ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಿರಲ್ವಾ ಅಥವಾ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ? BS4, BS6 ಅಂತ. What is it? Yes. Here it is safety. NCAP is safety standards. Exactly. Bharat stage stage 6 or before we had 4 and directly we skipped to 6. We jump to 6. So it is emission standard. Emission standard. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಈ ಟರ್ಮಿನಾಲಜೀಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಯಾವುದು ಯಾವುದು ಒಂದೆರಡು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. So you should be knowing an awareness. That's why I have added this topic here. We will see the key points. Okay, don't get confused with Bharat Stage 6 and Bharat NCAP. Bharat NCAP ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಾವು ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. Yes, which is complied with European standards. When it comes to Bharat Stage 6, that's the emission standard. Okay, even blending and all that, ethanol blending and all comes. So let's look into these key points. So this is a testing that is done on cars based upon to check the safety in a collision. So idu namdu indigenous star rating system andre developed in India itself. It is like very own India's star rating system for crash testing cars, under which vehicles will be assigned between 1 to 5 stars, indicating their safety in a collision. The accidents adaga collision adaga okay fine BS6 melano on the tab itkondiri keep a tab on it, that also on that also. Anyway, under which vehicles will be assigned between 1 to 5 stars, indicating their safety in a collision. So ಎಷ್ಟು ಸೇಫ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ collision ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸೇಫ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇದೆ. So Bharat NCAP is an ambitious joint project between Government of India and Global NCAP, the regulatory body behind the safety crash test ratings. ಇದು ಒಂದು MOU ಇದೆ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಮತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಒಂದು UK ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಎರಡರದ್ದು ambitious joint ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದು. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾನೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತದ್ದು. So objective is to help consumers make an informed decision before purchasing a car, thereby spurring demand for safer cars. ಯಾಕೆ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಇಕ್ವಿಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ನಾವೀಗ ರೆಫ್ರಿಜರೇಟರ್, ಟಿವಿಸ್ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಒಂದು ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ AC ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ನೋಡ್ತಿರೋದು 3 star, 4 star, 5 star and all that. Why do we see that? It's an awareness created in consumers how energy efficient it is. Likewise, idunno ee star rating anta hosadagi start ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Now as of now only the testing is going on, but slowly this will be a mandatory one. As of now ee ಮೂರು ಕಂಪನಿಗಳು ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಗೆ ಒಪ್ಪಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. Okay. So under Bharat NCAP, cars voluntarily nominated by automobile manufacturers will be crash tested as per protocols led by Automotive Industry Standard AIS 197. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಬರೀ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಗಳು ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಈ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಈ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಕಾರ್ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್, ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ NCAP ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ, the second point. Okay. So in this, it is just a major project of the Towards Zero Foundation, which is a UK registered charity. Actually, Towards Zero Foundation anta ಒಂದು UK registered charity ಒಂದು NGO ಇದೆ. ಅದರ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂತ ಈ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನಾವು ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ NCAP ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ NCAP ಮತ್ತು India's government have had a joint collaboration to take up this crash testing cars. It is a star rating system for the safety of the safety in a collision or safer cars ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. So hope it is clear. Bharat NCAP, keep in mind. Okay. Most of the sessions when you attend, be it any classes, make sure that you learn in the class itself as much as possible. ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಸೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, of course I'll be repeating for the same reason, so that it get registered. So there is no more learning, it should be revision. Getting it? Yes. So we move on to the next one. Next topic, that is Indian Forest and Wood Certification Scheme launched to promote sustainable management of forest and agroforestry. Idu governance kelgene hakbodu ನಾವು. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕೀಮ್, ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಸ್ಕೀಮ್. Excuse me. So Indian Forest and Wood Certification Scheme was launched recently, and let's see what is it exactly. So this is launched by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, MOEFCC, and this is a certification scheme for agroforestry. So this National Forest Certification Scheme offers voluntary third-party certification designed to promote sustainable forest management and agroforest in the country. Idu ಒಂದು forest certification scheme, not only forest, wood certification scheme. ಎರಡು ಒಂದರಲ್ಲೇ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. Forest ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ what type of forest we are talking about. Wood certification ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ wood ಅಥವಾ ಅದರೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಿಕ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಪ್ರೊಕ್ಯೂರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ವುಡ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, ವಾಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್, ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟೇಶನ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್, ಸಿಲ್ವಿಕಲ್ಚರ್, ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅರ್ಬನ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್, ಆರ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ರೀಜನ್, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ವುಡ್ ನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ವುಡ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಟ್, what type of forest we have? Forest certification. Idardu certification. So we will see why it is important. Before that, the last one, the Indian Institute of Forest Management Bhopal will act as the scheme operating agency and will be responsible for overall management of this. So Indian Institute of Forest Management Bhopal alli iruvantaddu, it is a main executive authority for this particular scheme, which is launched by the ministry. So it will take the overall responsibility of it. Yeah, this is the main or the prominent points from the news. Let's see what are the key features of the scheme, what exactly it focuses on. Now, the scheme includes forest management certification, tree outside forest management certification, and chain of custody certification. More ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತ certification ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. Forest management certification, ಯಾರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so people who can actually take up rejuvenation of the forest, afforestation, reforestation, ಅಥವಾ our agricultural region ಅಲ್ಲಿ forest, growth of forest, because when it comes to forest, definition of the forest under Forest Conservation Act, we take the definition of the dictionary itself. That is one thing, and also how it is defined in the act. So ಈ certifications ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್. ಟ್ರೀ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇರುವಂತ ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇರುವಂತ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ವೇರ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಟ್ರೀಸ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಚೈನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಸ್ಟಡಿ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, ಯಾರು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಟಿಂಬರ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಒಂದು ಲೈಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ, ಪರ್ಮಿಟ್ ಅಂತ, ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾತಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಇನ್ಸೆಂಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಟು ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಎಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ that adhere to responsible forest management and agroforestry practices in their operations. Yatikoskara anta andre, so we know that there are different types of forest: reserved forest, protected forest, unclassed forest, deemed forest, undemarcated forest. All these are defined in FRA and also Forest Conservation Act. Bere ರೀತಿಯಾದ forest, ಬೇರೆ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇದು ಮೀರಿ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಸ್, ಇಫ್ ಎಟ್ ಆಲ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಸ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮರಗಳನ್ನ ಟಿಂಬರ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ನಾವು ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಪರ್ಮಿಟ್. ಫೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ಡ್. Felling of trees is banned because especially the case, just keep this in mind. The Forest Conservation Act of 1980 ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಅಮೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ 2023. 1980 was amended as Forest Conservation Amendment Act of 2023. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಚೇಂಜಸ್, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ when we see this entire journey of this Conservation Act, the prominent landmark case, wherein that case which spoke about no felling of trees, wherein Supreme Court as a part of judicial activism, first time environmental related judicial activism ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ historians. So there is one landmark case, Godavarman case. Have you heard of it? 1996 case, Godavarman case. Godavarman case, Godavarman versus Union of India in the year 1996. ಈ ಕೇಸ್ ನಂತರ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಡಿಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ, ಫೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ಡ್. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ wherever it is possible, felling of trees for commercial, for any other purpose, it was completely, the forest was destroying. That is why this person filed a petition in the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court gave a verdict that is an offense or that is a crime. Okay, but yes, but in some rural areas trees are cut without any permission. See, actually when you go by it, that is what in rural areas ಈಗ ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಏನ್ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಓನರ್ ಯಾರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಕಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರೀಸ್, ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಟ್ರೀಸ್ಗೆ ಪರ್ಮಿಟ್ ಲೈಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಟ್ ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್. ರೂರಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ವಿಂಟರ್, ಅದು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಟಿಂಬರ್ ವಿಚ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಹೈ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಗ್ರೋ, ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಯು, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಗ್ರೋ ಟೀಕ್ ಟ್ರೀ, ಟೀಕ್ ವುಡ್, ಸ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ವುಡ್, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಬೆಳೆಸಬಹುದ? ಕಾಮನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಗ್ರೋ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ in our own private land? Can we grow all these trees? Sandalwood, teak, we can grow. But cutting of these trees, carrying and transporting these trees, you need permission. Getting it? So that is the idea here. So cutting of trees, especially specific trees, is not allowed. If at all people are doing it, obviously it is without any permit, without any license. I'm speaking about the high economic value trees here. Okay, so which we usually see in the forest areas. So iga forest na iga navu eno iga COP28 all agirbodu athwa globally we have taken, we are in part of many challenges, many visions and objectives. So we are trying to improve the carbon stock. Reforestation ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಈಗಿರುವಾಗ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟ್ರೀಸ್, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಟ್ರೀಸ್, ಪ್ಲಾಂಟೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಲ್ವಿ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಟು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್. ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಸಿಸಮ್. ಅಗೇನ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರಿಟಿಸಿಸಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಬೆಳೆಯಬಹುದು ಬಟ್ ಬೇಗ ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರು ಈಗ ಗಂಧದ ಮರ ಬೆಳೆಸಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಕಾಪಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕುತ್ಕೊಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. That is why most of the people will not take the risk of growing it. As simple as that. It is not that you should not grow. Keep that in mind. So ಈ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕವರ್ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಲೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ 2021 ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಸ್ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿಕಲ್ or we have 24.6% of forest cover in India of the India's geographical region. 24.6. So we are trying to or aiming for improving the forest cover. And forest cover ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೀ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೀ ಕವರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾನಪಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ಪ್ರಮೋಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಒನ್ ಸೈಡ್. ಈ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನೀವು ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬೆಳೆಸುವಾಗ ಅಥವಾ ನೀವು ಗಿಡಗಳನ್ನ ನೆಡುವಾಗ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತ ಗಿಡಗಳನ್ನ ನೆಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಫಾರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಪಸಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸಸ್ಟೈನೇಬಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಸಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಫಾಲೋವಿಂಗ್, ಅದನ್ನು ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಈ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾತಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಒನ್ಸ್ there is a better sustainable practices in growing of trees, right trees in the right place, and you use the timber for the right purpose. So ಇದೆಲ್ಲನೂ ಒಂದು ಚಾನಲೈಸ್ ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಈವನ್ when it reaches market, ಈಗ ನಾವೇನು ಅವೇರ್ we are well aware of some of the products, ಈ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ eco friendly, ಈ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ eco friendly ಅಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So people will also buy it. So it will lead to incentivizing certain people or certain farmers who are growing the forest. So basic idea of this certification is to enhance the livelihood of the people who are taking up forestry, which is economically viable, ecologically helpful, and it is also reaching the market. Everything is channelized, everything is monitored by the government. So there is no illegal activities, people are incentivized, and also we are having better forest, sustainable practices. Adukoskara ee certification yarge certificate irutte avaru market alli they can claim it, they can sell it, so legally using the timber. But there will be criticism for it, definitely, there is no doubt in it. Yet this is what we have. Okay, in future we will be having more updates on it once it is implemented. Recent agi launch agirodrinda ishtu objectives. So who are the parties involved here? You can see this includes state forest departments, individual farmers, farmer producer organization FPOs engaged in agroforestry and farm forestry, as well as other wood based industry in the value chain. So ellaru idra keಳಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಈ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಕೆಳಗೆ. ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಟಿಂಬರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಏನು ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ವುಡ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಟಿಂಬರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅವ್ರು ಈ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಮೂಲಕ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅ ಬೆಟರ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್. So government's based certification anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So a separate trees outside forest standard is also now introduced. Trees outside forest, ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಬರುವಂತದ್ದಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ and wood certification scheme launched by MOEFCC. Hope it is clear. Hope you got the idea. Clear with this? Next, you can also consider this under governance. Youth for Unnati and Vikas with AI, a scheme, a governance topic you can consider. This is under Ministry of Electronics and IT, Information Technology. So there was this particular program will be featuring in GPAI Summit shortly. So recently it was there in the news in PIB. So we will look into it. What is the scheme all about? Recently, the Ministry of Electronics and IT has said that the program UI, or Youth for Unnati and Vikas with AI, will be featured at the Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence Summit. So there will be a GPAI Summit shortly. Adaralli ee program na introduce ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು news. What is this program all about? We will see. UI, or Youth for Unnati and Vikas with AI, Artificial Intelligence, is a collaborative initiative of National E-Governance Division, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, and Intel India. So Ministry of Electronics and IT idರ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಒಂದು division ಏನು National E-Governance Division ಕೆಳಗೆ launch ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದು initiative of this, and Intel India, the company, the private company, ಇದರದ್ದು collaboration ಇಂದ ಈ program ನ launch ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So we will see what are the features. So this program is designed to equip the youth with essential artificial intelligence skills, who has garnered the attention for its innovative approach and commitment to enabling the future-ready workforce. So this is basically to motivate youth. Adike adaradu scheme hesaru UI anta. Okay, you can easily remember for yuva, for youngsters, for its innovative approach and commitment to enabling a future-ready workforce. So it is aimed to foster a deeper understanding of AI, to enable school students from class 8 to 12 across the nation with AI skills, and empower them to become human-centric designers and users of AI. So basically, idra focus andre artificial intelligence. Iga munchela artificial intelligence it is like a remote topic. Now it has become a subject. Now it has become like options athwa open elective aa reetiyagi offer ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ universities. In schools also people are learning about it, because today it is the era of artificial intelligence. So e scheme ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ತಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So better understanding. ಎಷ್ಟು students, there will be like scholarship on students na enlist ಮಾಡಿ, they will choose, and so that what do you call as they get scholarships, they will work under certain workshops, various aspects. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಈ ತರ schemes already ನಮಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Likewise, this is one more scheme. So this GPAI, this Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence Summit, it is a multi-stakeholder initiative which aims to bridge the gap between theory and practice on AI by supporting cutting-edge research and applied activities on AI-related priorities. This you need not worry about. Andre ashtond deep ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗೋದು ಬೇಡ. At least ಈ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಇದು ಏನಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ artificial intelligence ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ, and they to become better designers initiative na launch ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So they will apply, they will initiate at all the school levels. People will apply for it, and maybe various procedure will be conducted. Finally, they'll be enlisted and they'll be garnered. Their idea will be supported. So this is what the initiative all about. Okay, this is under governance. Now we'll move on to species in news. Green turtles were in news. No. We know that India already has project sea turtle. Project sea turtle anta ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇದೆ national level ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಒಡಿಶಾ is known for turtle preservation. We know that the most popular turtle what we see in news is olive ridley turtle. ಯಾವತ್ತು ಅಲ್ವಾ olive ridley turtle ಬಗ್ಗೆನೇ ನಾವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, but doesn't mean that India has only olive ridley turtle. Turtles are classified as sea turtles and freshwater turtles. ಎರಡು ತರ turtles ನಾವು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಟರ್ಟಲ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸೀ ಟರ್ಟಲ್ಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ನಾವು ಮರೀನ್ ಟರ್ಟಲ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸೀ ಟರ್ಟಲ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, at the world level, globally we have total 7 turtle species ಇದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಓಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್, ಅಟ್ಲಾಂಟಿಕ್, ಇಂಡಿಯನ್, and all that. Various oceans, we have 7 sea turtle species, and among them 5 are in India. 5 species Indian waters alli noಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. Some are migrating, some thrive in Indian waters. So olive ridley turtles, every year they migrate from all the way from Pacific and they end up in Indian Ocean, Odisha's coast, right? So green turtles are also one among them. Hilli focus green turtles ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡೋಣ. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಟರ್ಟಲ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮುಂಚೆನು. Turtles alli ella ರೀತಿನೂ ಇದೆ. When we look into their diet, we have omnivorous, carnivorous, herbivorous. All 3 types we have. Okay. So what is the news we will see? Rising global temperature could lead to an increase in the nesting range of green turtles in the Mediterranean Sea, as per a study in scientific reports. So it was on Hindu, this article. Global temperature ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, especially Mediterranean Sea, idu jaga illi we can notice the place where they have mentioned, and there is an increase in the nesting range of green turtles. It has led to increase. So nesting range alli increase ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ 60%, because of spreading west from the current area to include much of the North African, Italian and Greek coastlines. Adradu nesting areas alli changes ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. Human caused climate change has caused sea surface temperature to increase globally, with severe impacts on some marine life. Turtles alli ಒಂದು fascinating feature ಏನಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, we know that turtles, some features like turtles, though we say that they come in huge group, like they come in millions of turtles, end up on the shore, they mate and they lay eggs and then they go back. Mating alli athwa egg laying alli group agi nodidru, turtles are usually solitary in nature. Solitary andre yavattu onti agirutte. Usually adult turtles, only during breeding season they will see them together, but doesn't mean that they always live in the groups. They are solitary in nature. Once they turn into adults, first point you have to look into, think of it. And when we speak of laying of the eggs, egg laying ಆದ ನಂತರ incubation, usually incubation, ಇವಾಗ ಕೋಳಿ ಮೊಟ್ಟೆ ಕಾವು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೋಳಿ ಬೇಕಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ, incubation, artificial incubation you can give, but the bird will be there, or any bird or any reptile for that matter, for reptiles also. But when it comes to turtles, some of the reptiles, they lay the eggs, they cover the sand and they leave. The mother turtles leave. So these eggs has to incubate on their own with the temperature of the sand temperature or the water temperature mere depend agutte. So ಏನು ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, if the temperature is high, the hatchling, the egg hatchling which comes out of the egg will turn to be female. High temperature idre female, normal temperature idre male agutte. So third point is, sea turtles are potentially particularly susceptible as the sex of their offspring is dependent on incubation temperature. So ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೈ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಹ್ಯಾಚ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಮೇಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So what about the population, right? There will be skewed sex ratio. It leads to skewed sex ratio, biased, or what you call as imbalanced sex ratio ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. We will see some of the features of the green turtles. What are they, where are they found, and protection status and all that. The name itself suggests green turtle anta antakshna. These are the only herbivore turtle species among 7. Yakandre some are purely carnivores, some are omnivores, some are herbivores. If you consider olive ridley turtles are omnivores. Green turtles are herbivores. They only feed on sea grass or planktons. Basically ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ sea grass bed ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು green turtles ನ ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ green turtles ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರು. One of the largest sea turtle, one of the largest, not largest, one of the largest is leatherback turtle. Okay, and the only herbivore among the different species. They are in fact named for the greenish color of their cartilage and fat, not their shells. ಯಾತಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಟರ್ಟಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಕ್ಕೆ, ಅದೊಂದು ಕಾರ್ಟಿಲೇಜ್, ಅದೊಂದು ಬೋನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಫ್ಯಾಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಟರ್ಟಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಶೆಲ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಬಹುದು ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಅದರದ್ದು ಶೆಲ್ it is brown, it is not green. Okay, so they graze on sea grasses and algae, which maintains the seagrass beds and makes them more productive. ಈ ಸೀಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಬೆಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೀಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಫೀಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸೀಗ್ರಾಸ್ ecosystem ನ ಹೆಲ್ದಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಟ್ರಿಮ್ಸ್ ದ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಅದರ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಥ್ರೈವ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಕೀಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Turtles can be called as keystone species. The definition of keystone species is any organism which play a very important role in an ecosystem. Okay, turtle and now keystone anta karibodu. So they are potentially particularly susceptible. Okay, sorry, I missed out one more point. These species migrate long distances between feeding grounds and beaches from where they hatched. So they keep on migrating. Turtles are migratory in nature. Okay, so they are potentially particularly susceptible or vulnerable as the sex of their offspring is dependent on incubation temperature. We have already seen that. So ellelli nodbodu navu ee green turtles na andre mainly in tropical and subtropical waters. So IUCN, the classification of this IUCN categorization is endangered and CITES Appendix 1. So it is highly protected species under CITES convention. IUCN only endangered. So this is about the key points about the turtles. Though the news is on turtles, anything can be asked. Basic questions can be asked before it has been asked as well. So keep a tab on it. Clear with this? So moving on. Next news is again regarding the species and also the protected area. Also we will talk about Royal Bengal tiger spotted in Sikkim. For me, yadakoskara ee news na nanu important anta consider ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ these are the news wherein it gives you a logical understanding. Ega in the headline, Royal Bengal tiger spotted in Sikkim at an altitude of 3,640 meters anta kottidare. So one of the statements will put there, tigers are not found above this altitude or not found in this region anta kottidare. One gnapaka itkolli yavattu. When it comes to tigers, tigers are thriving today, especially in the Asian countries, in different environmental factors. So even in India only, if you take, we have tigers in tropical dense forest, rainforest in Western Ghats. We have in Eastern Ghats in deciduous forest. We have in grasslands of Madhya Pradesh. We have in Ranthambore in Rajasthan. Though Ranthambore is like easternmost part of Rajasthan, still it is in Rajasthan in the arid region. We have tigers in the higher altitude of Uttarakhand and Sikkim. You can see we or what do you call as Sikkim, Arunachal. We have all these places. We have tiger reserve. We have in mangroves of Sundarban. So ella ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಒಂದು ecosystem ಅಲ್ಲಿ tigers ಗೆ ಬದುಕಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ. So don't get confused with it. So they can Indian tiger can as far as it can migrate to Siberia. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ Siberian tiger ಅಂತಾನು ಒಂದಿದೆ. So it can thrive in the very cold region as well. Not Indian tiger exactly. I'm just giving an example. So there is a possibility. Migratory ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಒಂದು possibility ಇದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So they can occur at the higher altitude also. That is the takeaway. But apart from that, we will also see regarding the wildlife sanctuary. So Pangala Wildlife Sanctuary is in Sikkim. So you are going to learn about one protected area also in this. Pangala Wildlife Sanctuary is in Sikkim at a very high altitude of 3,640 meters. So it is located at the tri-junction of Sikkim, Bengal and Bhutan, and it's spread over 128 square kilometers. It is the largest wildlife sanctuary in Sikkim. These are the three important points of regarding Pangala Wildlife Sanctuary, which is in Sikkim. The news is regarding tiger spotted in this altitude, very high altitude. One question to kelidare munche, which of the following protected areas are found in the completely alpine zone anta keltare. There was a question asked in prelims before. They need not ask the measurement, they simply would ask the biomes or the regions. Okay, protected areas bagge. So idu higher altitude alli ide gnapaka itಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So we have certain key points regarding the wildlife sanctuary. It is located in East Sikkim district and connected to the forest of Bhutan and Neora Valley. Neora Valley ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ question. Neora Valley, one of the options. Just now what I've mentioned the question, Neora Valley is in West Bengal, or Neora Valley National Park is in West Bengal. So it is located in this part. Okay. So the Pangala range extending below the Chola range. Idu ee Chola alla, namdu Chola dynasty, Chola. But there are many binaries that ee Chola range ಏನಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಎಂತ ಕರಿಕಾಲ ಚೋಳನ್ is expeditions in Himalayas anta one history ide. That is not proven. Chola andrene bere concept in. It is like Chola means itself is like there is a meaning in Tibetan language basically. So it is totally different. It is not one word, it is different word. Just telling you because even I got confused wherein Chola range, we did this Chola dynasty, the kings went there. It is totally different thing. Okay. We have this La ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು pass. ಇದು Chola pass ಅಂತಾನೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನಾವು. ಈ ಶಿಪ್ಕಿಲಾ ಅಥವಾ ಬುಂಡಿಲಾ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ passes ಅಲ್ವಾ La. So that Chola we are talking about. Separate Sikkim from Tibet in the northeast and Bhutan in the southeast. So basically we have this mountain range. Illi wildlife sanctuary ide. So what kind of vegetation we have here? The sanctuary has typical alpine temperate subtropical vegetation with higher altitude lakes around Jilipla. Jilipla pass keltiralva. Where do we have this Jilipla pass? In Sikkim only. Jilipla passes again. Flora, what kind of flora we have? Rhododendron, silver fir, juniper forest and associated ground flora. ಏನು higher altitude ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? Oak forest, dense bamboo thickets. This is the type of forest we have in this wildlife sanctuary. And fauna, other animals apart from tigers, we have red pandas because Sikkim is known for the state animal red panda. Okay, so red pandas we have in this wildlife sanctuary. Snow leopards we have, Himalayan musk deer, Himalayan goral. Himalayan goral is a goat, wild goat. Himalayan black bears. So when we take up a protected area, ishtonna information ಒಂದು idea ಇರಬೇಕು. I understand because ಹೇಗೆ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತೀರಾ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಸಲ ಓದ್ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೆ. ಒಂದು ಲಾಜಿಕ್ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪಂಗಲೋಕ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು recollect it. ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. There are no shortcuts for hard work, but you can do some smart work, some acronym, some words you can, unique words. ಒಂದು ಲಾಜಿಕಲಿ ಸೊ ಇದು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು ಯಾವ್ದು? ಈಗ ರೆಡ್ ಪ್ಯಾಂಡಾ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆನಿಮಲ್. ಸೊ ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ವಿಚ್ ವಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವಾಲ್ಮೀಕಿ ಟೈಗರ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, regarding Valmiki Tiger Reserve, I think relocation of the tiger something. Where do we have Valmiki Tiger Reserve? Which state? Can you tell me? Yes, in Bihar. So keep that in mind. Okay. Now, shall we take a break for 5 minutes? Then I'll continue. Is it okay? We shall resume. So next topic is greenwashing. It is under environmental science only. So this is as of now, it's been a couple of years that we are seeing this in news a lot of times, and recently it is just reason for us to again revisit the term again, once again. So why the UK banned Air France, Lufthansa and Etihad ads over greenwashing claims? So recently the UK government has banned these advertisements given by these airlines over what is the justification given? Because they are greenwashing. We have this word called as brainwashing. So this is like not brainwashing, but in a way that is the mode here. We use the word greenwashing because literally deceiving, a kind of a deception, wherein making people believe that this is ecologically sustainable or it is a eco-friendly product when it is not. Basically, it is a deception. It is a cheating, a kind of a cheating, right? So in many ways, even we are today when we buy products, ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು products buy ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ eco-friendly ಅಥವಾ cruelty-free ಅಥವಾ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ we have procured this product directly from the forest, from the nature ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಜ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಳ್ಳು, ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ತರ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಗ್ರೀನ್ ವಾಷಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಚೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನೇಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ ಬ್ರಿಂಗಿಂಗ್ ಈಕೋ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ವಾಷಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ಸ್. Basically, ಈ ಮೂರು airline industry or aviation industry itself is one of the high emission, what do you call as the industry which emits more greenhouse gases or carbon emission. Antadralli they had their own claims, like we emit lower gas, lesser emission. We do this. Many claims were there. We need not worry about the claims of them, but we are just picking the word greenwashing here. Again, maybe in the exam they might ask, this term was recently in news. It refers to what? So ನಾಲ್ಕು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಲ್ಕು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಡೆಫಿನಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಡೆಫಿನಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. That is why we look into this topic now. Okay, so yes, these three airlines was banned by the United Kingdom's ad regulator, advertisement ಮಾಡಬಾರದು ಅಂತ, for allegedly misleading the consumers regarding the environmental impact of the air travel. So on ad mislead ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅದನ್ನ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ads ನ. So the aviation industry responsible for around 2.5% of the human produced carbon dioxide emissions faces scrutiny. Definitely, yes, we cannot actually, no airlines cannot claim that, okay, we are not emitting anything. Definitely they are part of it. So without measures, its contribution could rise to 5% by 2050. ಇದನ್ನ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ನಾವು ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ 2.5% ಏನಿದೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುವ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. We will look about what is greenwashing and with some examples. What is greenwashing? Okay, mostly the earliest example was from Volkswagen, the car company, wherein they made this claim of emission tumba kammi ide, namdu emission free gaadi antella. There was a time wherein, even today it is popular automobile, but still there was a time wherein they claimed, at least I think by 2050 they claimed it, ours is free from emission, we are eco-friendly and all that. They claimed it. So later it was under the scrutiny and got, obviously other competitors will be jealous. All those cars were recalled. That is there. Definitely there will be some of the other competitor to check how come we are like emitting so much of gases and pollutants, and how come these cars, how they are made. So under scrutiny, under scanner, when it comes under scanner, definitely it was understood that no, they are not. And they made sure that, see, that is the banner you can see, we are sorry that we got caught. Because they, in order to improve the goodwill or to maintain better relations with the consumers, or ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಪುನಃ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತ ಆಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕೋಕಾ ಕಂಪನಿ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ನೀರು ಅಥವಾ ನಾವು use ಮಾಡುವಂತ what you call as manufacture ಮಾಡುವಂತ beverage. It is free from chemicals. It is eco-friendly. Plastic na ನಾವು recycle ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದೆಲ್ಲ claims ಇತ್ತು. But ಅದ ನಂತರ scrutiny ಆದ ನಂತರ it is understood it is all false claims. ಏನಿತ್ತು ಮುಂಚೆ ಅದೇ ತರ ಇದೆ ಈ ಕೋಕಾ ಕೋಲಾ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. They claim it, but they are not. What they claim, they are not. Especially environmentally sustainable ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಗ್ರೀನ್ ವಾಷಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Remember the word brain washing ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ green washing. Now, green washing is when firms, that's the definition. Green washing is when firms or governments, even government also, give a false impression that all of their products or activities are climate friendly or help in reducing emission. False impression ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ, false claim ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ the green washing ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮೆಥಡ್ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ವಾಷಿಂಗ್ may also occur when a company highlights sustainable aspects of a product to overshadow its environmentally damaging activities. ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾಲ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ ಕೊಡುವಂತದ್ದು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ರೀತಿ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ವಾಷಿಂಗ್ ಏನಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಈಕೋ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಲಿ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಟ್ಟು ಅದು ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಎಮಿಷನ್ ನ ಶಾಡೋ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು ಅಥವಾ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೈಡ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು. ಇದನ್ನ ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ನಾವು ಗ್ರೀನ್ ವಾಷಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಿವನ್ 2 definitions ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಎರಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. Both are green washing only. It is not one particular definition. That is the reason. From the exam perspective, ಯಾವ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಏನಾದ್ರು Indian government, if at all it takes any initiatives, green washing ಬಗ್ಗೆ keep a tab on it. They might not go to initiatives, definitely for these words, ಈ technical terms, ಈ trendy words, buzzwords ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದರ definition ನೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. That is the trend in the question paper. So keep a tab on it. Okay, this is about green washing. Hope it's clear. Then the next is under science and tech, NOMA. NOMA is a tropical disease, a neglected tropical disease. NTD ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. WHO actually recognizes some of the diseases as neglected tropical diseases wherein it has some criteria over it. We will see what is it, what is this NTD, and what is this NOMA all about, and what are its implications. Because when it comes to diseases, first thing, especially any tropical diseases, first thing our mind goes to Africa or South America. Usually, that is where most of the diseases originate, in a tropical country. So we'll see what is it and some basic awareness about it. Because NOMA anta kottaga, what is it? It was recently seen in news. You should be able to try to connect whatever you have studied. So recently, WHO announced the inclusion of NOMA, or Cancrum oryz, or gangrenous stomatitis, the name of the disease it is. NOMA anta neನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. In its official list of neglected tropical disease. Recently add ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಡಿಸೀಸಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್? ಮುಂಚೆನೂ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಡಿಸೀಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ಎರಾಡಿಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಡಿಸೀಸಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎರಾಡಿಕೇಟೆಡ್. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಇಷ್ಟು ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಇಂದ ಯಾವ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಎರಾಡಿಕೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಇಟ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಅ ಕ್ಲೂ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ neglected tropical diseases are a diverse group of tropical infections. NTD ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Neglected tropical diseases ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ tropical infections which are common in low income population in Africa, Asia and Americas. So ನಾವೇನು ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಸೌತ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ ಕರೀತಾರೆ, it is called as today. Before it was developed countries, developing countries, ಆಮೇಲೆ third world countries ಅಂತ ಬಂತು, underdeveloping countries, underdeveloped countries. So today we see global north and global south, if at all we are using such terms. Or we can say developing regions of Africa, Asia and Americas where there is low income. Here, if we detect a disease, these are called as neglected tropical disease because it is confined to tropical regions. Adikoskara. So they are caused by this disease. NTD is caused by variety of pathogens such as viruses, bacteria. ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬಹುದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು NTD ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So we will see how NOMA occurs and what are the other features. So it is a rapidly progressing severe gangrenous disease of the mouth and the face. Gangrene, elli namge gangrene because of the diabetic ಈ ಗ್ಯಾಂಗ್ರೀನ್ ಅಂತ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಈ ಗ್ಯಾಂಗ್ರೀನಸ್ ಡಿಸೀಸಸ್ ಬಟ್ it start from mouth and the face. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು. ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ cancrum oris and gangrenous stomatitis ಫೌಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಸಬ್-ಸಹಾರನ್ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾ. ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಾರನ್ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So who are affected? It mostly affects children aged 2 to 6 years suffering from malnutrition, affected by infectious diseases, living in extreme poverty with poor oral health or with weakened immune system. So ಈ disease ಯಾತಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ basically especially in poor oral health condition, malnutrition. We know that most of the places in Africa are drought prone region, where people are, especially children, are malnourished, and this is the susceptibility for the diseases to occur. This disease to occur. So it can also occur among immunocompromised adults due to HIV, leukemia, other diseases. Yargella already ಇದೆ, ಅವರಲ್ಲೂ ನೋಡಬಹುದು ಈ ನೋಮಾ ಅನ್ನೋ ಡಿಸೀಸ್. It starts as a soft tissue lesion of the gums. First the soaring of the gums, ಈ teeth ಅಲ್ಲಿ start ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, gums ಅಲ್ಲಿ start ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಂತರ develop ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. It is generally considered as opportunistic. It is gone to there is some, what do you call as, font problem with it, so I'll just read it for you. It is generally considered an opportunistic and non-contagious anta andre will not spread from one person to another. Okay, it is non-contagious, spread agalla. So ishtu facts bagge kelala, know about, have an awareness about the disease called as noma and what is neglected tropical disease. Okay, then moving on. Next, science and tech. Recently, IIT Madras has developed a technology called Amrit. Amrit stands for arsenic and metal removal by Indian technology. Ee Amrit technology na develop madidare. UPSC is fond of asking questions which has been, especially any technology developed from any IIT ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್, ಅದರಿಂದ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಮುಂಚೆನೂ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದು ಯಾಕೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಆರ್ಸೆನಿಕ್ ಕಂಟಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ is one of the major concerns or the pressing issue in India. So arsenic ಬಗ್ಗೆ questions ಕೇಳಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಈ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ we are discussing about this. Okay, the idea is very simple. The technology is regarding filtering. ಹೇಗೆ ಒಂದು ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ ಈ ಆರ್ಸೆನಿಕ್ ನ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, because most of the filters or arsenic is a grave threat when it is contaminated in the water. So ಅದನ್ನ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ nanoscale iron oxyhydroxide is being used when removes arsenic when water is passed through it. ಈ ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ ತರ ಇರುವಂತ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಆರ್ಸೆನಿಕ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. When we speak of this technology, now water anta antakshana Indiadalli Ministry of Jal Shakti, which has been renamed Ministry of Jal Shakti. So ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಆಗಿರಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಅದರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇರುವಂತ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿ, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಡ್ರಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ it is a state subject. That's also I've added as a part of it. Okay, remember, drinking water is a state subject and hence the responsibility of planning, approval, implementation, operation, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಡ್ರಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವ್ದು ಜಲ್ ಜೀವನ್ ಮಿಷನ್ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಇದ್ರೂನು ಆ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಟೆರಿಟರಿ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. That you have to keep in mind. There can be a policy developed by introduced by the government, central government, but state government has to execute it. Next, the government of India supports the states by providing technical and financial assistance kodutte, but execution alla state government ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. These 2 points. So we will see what is this, rather than seeing what is Amrit technology, already ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅದೊಂದು ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ. We will speak about arsenic ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ನಾವು ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. Okay, so it is a natural component of the earth's crust and it is widely distributed throughout the environment in the air, water and land. So arsenic, it has its source in geogenic, ಅಥವಾ ಅದು earth's crust ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರ source ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ, lithosphere ಅಲ್ಲಿ, earth's crust ಅಲ್ಲಿ arsenic ಇದೆ. So it is highly toxic in its inorganic form. Organic form ಅಲ್ಲ, natural form ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಟಾಕ್ಸಿಕ್ ಇದೆ. It has been recognized as a toxic element and it is considered a human health hazard. The arsenic contamination, especially in North India, in the northern plains, it is very common. Main silly question ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ arsenic contamination ಬಗ್ಗೆ. Okay, that's fine. So long-term intake of arsenic contaminated water leads to arsenic poisoning or arsenocosis with cancer of skin, bladder, kidney, or lung or diseases of skin. So I think arsenic also causes black foot disease ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಕರಿತೀವಿ arsenic ಇಂದನೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Contamination ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ರಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ವಾಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಸೆನಿಕ್ ಕಂಟಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯಾತಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಆರ್ಸೆನಿಕ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಡಿಪ್ಲೀಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸಿ ಇದೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಜಿಯೋಜೆನಿಕ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಇದು ಅಥವಾ ಅರ್ತ್ ಕ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಸ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ground water deplete ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ arsenic contamination is very common, especially in the northern plains. In other states also, but there way more. WHO ಪ್ರಕಾರ the guideline value for arsenic is to drinking water ಅಲ್ಲಿ 0.01 milligram per liter ಇರಬೇಕು. But ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ permissible limit ಈಗ 0.05 ಅಂದ್ರೆ because of the presence, the condition, the location, geological location, WHO ಇಷ್ಟು ಮಿನಿಮಲ್ ಗೈಡ್ಲೈನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಪರ್ಮಿಸಿಬಲ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕಲಿ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳೋ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಕೀಪ್ ಅ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ ಆನ್ ಇಟ್. ಇದು ಆರ್ಸೆನಿಕ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಟಾಪಿಕ್, ದ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆನ್ ಅಮೃತ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ, ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫೋಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಆರ್ಸೆನಿಕ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಟೆಕ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಟು ಬಯೋರೆಮಿಡಿಯೇಷನ್. ಬಯೋರೆಮಿಡಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. Yes, we have discussed on a bioremediation. Bio ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಡಿಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಬಯೋರೆಮಿಡಿಯೇಷನ್ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಬಯೋರೆಮಿಡಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. It should be microorganisms. So basically, hope you got it. Okay. Next, it can be under science and tech or governance also. India's fastest solar electric boat, Barracuda, if I'm pronouncing it right, was launched recently. Yaka ee riti hesaru Barracuda anta andre, it is named after a fish. You can see I put up the image of the fish also so that you can remember. Recently, India's fastest solar electric boat named Barracuda was launched at the Naval Solar and Electric Boats Yard in Arur in Alappuzha in Kerala. So Alappi in Kerala. So it was recently launched. It is the India's fastest solar electric boat. Barracuda anta keldaga akasmat question al kottidre gnapaka itkolli. Can be very factual based question. There is a chance, or maybe in any state level exams also there is a possibility. Named after the swift longfish, Barracuda was designed by Nevolt and can be deployed even in the rough seas as a work boat to ferry up to 12 passengers and cargo. So the attribute here is India's fastest solar electric boat. The name of the boat is Barracuda. Okay. Features ashte, key points, designed by this company Nevolt, an eco-friendly vessel because it do not use any steam or any emissions here. It is completely based on solar energy, capable of carrying 12 passengers and cargo also. It has a top speed of 12.5 knots and range of 7 hours in a single charge mantra. 7 hours tanka adna use madabodu. The boat is built to navigate waves up to 4 meters high and was commissioned by Mazicon Dock Limited for use in Mumbai under the name same Saur Shakti. This is very factual, very preliminary fact level news either. So we need not worry much about it. Okay, just know the news. That's all. Then places in news. Sargasso Sea was recently in news. Sargasso Sea, it is the location when we see it is in the Gulf of Mexico, basically that region, North Atlantic region. We will see what is in the news. Sargasso Sea around Bermuda is now at its hottest, most acidic and oxygen-starved than at any point in recorded history. Here it means most acidic andre ocean acidification anta na helbodu. Oxygen starved anta andre oxygen depleted area or we use the other term called as hypoxic zone also. Oxygen depleted area ge innondu hesaru hypoxic zone. It's like hypoxia is hypoxemia is a medical condition. ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ oxygen depleted ಯಾಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ high ocean acidification, lack of oxygen, more growth of algal bloom, eutrophication ಅಂತ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, n number of reasons are there. Finally there is no oxygen ಅಂತ ಅಂದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, fishes, it is also called as dead zone ಅಂತಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. Oxygen starved regions ಗೆ ನಾವು dead zone ಅಂತಾನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So because of this, this region is in news. We will see some of the key points here. Okay, Sargasso Sea. This is spelling mistake. It is A. Okay, Sargasso Sea. So Sargasso Sea near Bermuda is warmer, saltier, and more acidic than it has ever been since measurements began in 1954. And the impact of such significant changes could be far-reaching, researchers have warned. So this is a very unique sea. We will see why it is. Let me read out the news first. The survey also showed the acidity of the Sargasso Sea has increased 30 to 40% in the last 40 years. See, acidity of the sea and bandaga, we have something called as pH scale. On this pH scale, we know that anything below 7 is acidic, anything above 7 is basic. Can you tell me what is the pH value of ocean? See the pH value, normal pH value eshtirutte. Yes. What will be the pH value? At least value guess madilla andrunu, will it be acidic or basic? 7 andre neutral agogutte. Yes, 7 andre neutral. Anything below 7 is acidic. Acidic water alli irakagalla. Water, salt water anta andre ಅದು basic ಆಗಿ ಇರಬೇಕಪ್ಪ. more than 7 ಇರಬೇಕು. more than 7 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ? between 7 to 8 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 8.2 is the normal pH value of ocean. 8.2 ಇರಬೇಕು normal ಆಗಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇದು ocean acidification ಅಂತ ಅಂದಾಗ ಅದು below 7 ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲ. ocean acidification ಅಂತ ಅಂದಾಗ 8.2 ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು 8.1 ಆದ್ರೂ ಅದು acidification. ಯಾಕೆ acidified ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? because of improved high level of carbon dioxide absorbed by the ocean. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಜೊತೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಕಾರ್ಬೋನಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕಾರ್ಬೋನಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, pH ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಡಿಕ್ರೈಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಥವಾ ಕಾರ್ಬೋನಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it will lead to one hydrogen ion ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. I'm just using technical words, but I think in class I have explained ocean acidification. So ಈ carbon dioxide reacts with water, carbonic acid. So carbonic acid further ಒಂದು chain reaction ತರ, ಒಂದು hydrogen ion, ಒಂದು bicarbonate ion. So ಯಾವಾಗ hydrogen ion ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, pH value ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. pH ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗೋದಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಈ pH ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುವಂತದ್ದು. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದ pH ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ as ocean acidification. ಅಸಿಡಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದಾಗ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಅಥವಾ ಆಲ್ಕಲಿನಿಟಿ ಅಥವಾ ಸಾಲ್ಟಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಅದು ಅಸಿಡಿಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೀರು ಅಸಿಡಿಕ್ ಆದಾಗ ಓಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ marine organisms will be greatly affected. So they have this, see, freshwater organisms will live in fresh water. Ocean water or marine water organisms will have to live in marine water. If ಎರಡನ್ನೂ adlo badlo ಅಥವಾ change fluctuate ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it will affect the marine ecosystem, right? That is the concern here. I think it is clear why ocean acidification happens, because of excess absorption of carbon dioxide, which turns into carbonic acid, and which it further leads to increase of hydrogen ions. So ಇದನ್ನ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ocean acidification ಅಂದ್ರೆ lowering the pH value will lead to increased hydrogen ions, or the other way around. It leads to ocean acidification. Okay. So the rise of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere from the burning of fossil fuels leads to carbon dioxide dissolving into the ocean. What I told you just now. This can increase its acidity as the dissolved gas turns into carbonic acid as well as carbonate and hydrogen ions. Eradu, it's not carbonate, it's bicarbonate actually. So I'll tell you in an easier way. Carbon dioxide dissolves ends up as carbonic acid. This leads to increase in the hydrogen ions and decrease in the carbonate ions. I think CO3 2 minus carbonate ions. So increased level of carbon dioxide, increased level of hydrogen ions, decreased level of carbonate ions leads to ocean acidification. Okay, in the static class you'll be learning this topic anyway. We will move on now. So about Sargasso Sea. The Sargasso Sea located entirely, now we are just looking, you can consider it as places in New Sundan. Actually it is related to environment, but you can also look into where the Sargasso Sea is present. This is the location in the North Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so it is located entirely within the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean madhyadalli one sea. That is why it is unique. So it is the only sea without a land boundary. That's attribute. It is the only sea without a land boundary. It is named for sargassum. ಒಂದು weed, seaweed ಬೆಳೀತಾ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಸರ್ಗಾಸಮ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂತೀವಿ. There's a holopelagic ಅಂದ್ರೆ middle of the ocean. Pelagic ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ open water ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆಯುವಂತದ್ದು. A golden drift algae which has a very yellowish color that can aggregate to form extensive floating mats on the surface of the ocean. ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಅದು bloom ಆದ್ರೆ full complete ಆಗಿ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಮಿನಿಮಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅದೊಂದು ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸರ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೇರೆ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಅದರ್ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಗೆ food agi irutte. If at all it is not, or it is blooming, it is overgrowing, adondu mat agi create agutte, alliruvanta ella organisms ge oxygen deplete agta barutte, sunlight block agutte mattu oxygen demand jaasti agutte. So there is no oxygen, the marine organisms will be affected. That is the concern. This extraordinary open ocean ecosystem is bounded by currents circulating around the North Atlantic subtropical gyre. This gyre annadna neevu geography al kaltirtira. We will see the definition. And is unique for supporting the center of distribution and abundance of for a community of continuously pelagic drift algae. Pelagic andre open ocean. The Gulf Stream establishes the Sargasso Sea's western boundary, while idu on the location western boundary alli Gulf Stream. Sea is further defined to the north by North Atlantic current. Gulf Stream ocean currents odirtiralva. Gulf Stream is what type of current? Warm current or cold current? Gulf Stream. Amale we have North Atlantic current, easterly Canary current, southerly North Atlantic equatorial current. So ishtu current madhye gyre create agutte. What is a gyre mean? Geography alli gyre andre enu? Because we are talking about the currents, warm currents and cold currents. Remember, maybe they can go to the basics also. Questions kelbodu. So what is a gyre? A gyre is nothing but, let me explain. It is a large system of rotating ocean currents. Very good. A region where mixing inta helakinta hechagi rotating ocean currents. Warm ಮತ್ತೆ cold currents ಒಂದು rotate ಆಗುವಂತ ಜಾಗನ ನಾವು gyre ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, force ಗೆ. So 5 major gyre ಇದೆ, North and South Pacific ಇಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ. These are the places in where ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ warm and cold currents ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So we have North Pacific, Indian, South Pacific, North Atlantic, South Atlantic. ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ warm and cold current rotate ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು gyre ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇದು Sargasso Sea ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ. Okay, so ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಇಂದ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಅಂಶಗಳು ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so hope you got the idea. Okay, then one more place in news was Bab el Mandeb Strait. Idu that is because of, we know that this ongoing issue that is happening in Gaza. That is why it is in news. Obviously yadar one question idde irutte ee jagadinda yavud bekar strait ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು, water body ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. So though it is about the war, question will be on the places. Okay, that you have to keep in mind. So this Bab el Mandeb Strait is in news because India ಹೇಗೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾನ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು. So we know that it's from past few months this is happening, and especially Houthi militants, this were also, yes, attacks on goods ship. Very good, this was there. So ee ship attack illi common ee jagadalli Bab el Mandeb Strait alli, mattu illiruvanತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರುವಂತದ್ದು, ಥ್ರೆಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುವಂತದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಬೀರಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಟ್ಯಾಂಕ್, GTRI is a think tank in India that has been mentioned. ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, India needs to work on finding alternate trade routes in the sea, as heavy reliance on Bab el-Mandeb Strait could impact the country's trade with the Middle East, Africa, Europe. Economic think tank GTRI said recently. Namdo dependency strait ee jagadalli tumba ide, adakoskara ee attacks constant agidre India mele effect agutte annadu reason annadu news. We will look into the namge location gothirbeku ellide anta. The strait is vital for 30% global container traffic, has seen increased tensions in 2023. So, yen agbodu ee strikes continue adre, id escalate adre yen problem agbodu ee jagadalli antandre, akasmat ee route close adre, yes, Somalian pirates attack common agirutte. So already adondu this is a place wherein it is known for attacks, threats, pirate attacks and all that. So akasmat route close adre, the closure of this route would snap the critical trade link between Europe and India and all of Asia basically. Ashtu problem agutte. Mattu the ships going to Europe will now take a long route in the Cape of Good Hope, elli kelige Africa, allinda hogbekagutte if it is closed, or if at all we have to find an alternative. This is the only alternative we have as of now. Adike adondu concern anta. Okay, so this adenagutte, voyage distance ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, cost ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, transportation time cost ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. Yes, even imports ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Yes, very good. So idu implications. So yes, we understand there is a war going on, militants attack and everything, but India mele economically ee riti parinama birutte. The strait is, and apart from that, the strait is vital for 30% global container traffic, has seen increased tension in 2023. So baki, not only India, other countries will also be greatly affected. So let's look into the location here. You can see this is Bab el-Mandeb Strait in the Red Sea. Okay, this is the position. Keep in mind, because this in region mele tumba questions, Gulf of Aden, athwa Djibouti, Eritrea, Red Sea, Mediterranean Sea, usually questions will be there. Illiruvanta ella water bodies correct agi gothirbeku. Okay, keep a tab on it. So let's look into some key points here. It is a strait of great strategic and economic importance, connecting the Red Sea in the northwest. Strait yavadna connect madutte, Red Sea in the northwest and Gulf of Aden and the Indian Ocean in the southeast. Basically akade ikkade iruvanthadu Red Sea and Gulf of Aden, Bab el-Mandeb Strait. It also separates Arabia in the northeast from the African continent in the southwest. Arabia, Yemen illi nodbodu, Arabia, and we have this African continent on the other side. It further acts as a link between Indian Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea via the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. So this is the main access point ee jagadalli iruvanthadu. So the name of the strait, ee hesradu artha enu andre, Bab el-Mandeb artha enu antande gate of tears anta in Arabic, referring to the large number of shipwrecks that have occurred in this region. Ashtu shipwreck agirbodu, athwa militant attacks agirbodu, pirate attack agirbodu. Somalia, you can see Somalia also here. That is why the name of the strait is called as Gate of Tears anta Arabically. So this idello ee tara points galu nimge help barutte. So that's why we use all this. So that is the implication here. That is what it was in the news. So we have to keep a tab on it, wherein how India is being affected if at all there is a closure of this. Okay, hope it is clear. Then some miscellaneous world news you can consider. Now we know that 2023 is the UN ಏನಂತ declare ಮಾಡಿದೆ, 2023 year 23 ನ declare ಮಾಡಿತ್ತು International Year of Millets. ಹೌದಾ? Yes. So 2024 will be the International Year of Camelids. Last week ನಾವು camel ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇತ್ತು, Bactrian camel ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, wherein Indian Army has deployed Bactrian camel to carry the arms and ammunitions anta alva. So Bactrian camel was in news. So we are seeing more of some camel news. There are chances. So let's look into it. So UN has declared 2024 as the International Year of Camelids. What is it? We will see. The decision has been taken to highlight the significant importance of camelids. Camelids another on the group. Yavadella barutte anta nodana now. Okay, camelid is not an animal. Camelid is a group, is an order in the lives of the people across the world. So camels are found in different continents, various continents, tropical region especially. So this is because ಈ year ನ ಯಾತಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಕ್ಯಾಮೆಲಿಡ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ build an awareness. ಈ ಕ್ಯಾಮಲ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಏನು ಒಂದು ignorance ಅಥವಾ we are overlooking their importance in the domestic life of people. So ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಕೊಡಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ಇಯರ್ ನ ನಾವು ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇಯರ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಮೆಲಿಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. We'll see some details about it. So these are camelids ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಇಷ್ಟು camels ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, we have Arabian camel, llama, guanaco, alpaca, vicuña, and a Bactrian camel. So different places are also given. When you receive the PDF slide, you can go through it, the locations. Okay, India dalli athwa ನಾವು ಇದು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಏಷ್ಯನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಏಷ್ಯಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ we have this dromedary camel ಅಂತ ಅಂತೀವಿ, Bactrian ಮತ್ತೆ dromedary. ಉಳಿದಿರುವಂತದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ llama, guanaco, alpaca, which do not look like a camel. It is the combination of sheep ಮತ್ತೆ camel ತರ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಸೌತ್ ಅಮೆರಿಕಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಡರ್. ಉಳಿದಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ಈ ಕಡೆ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ಏಷ್ಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ. We will see that. So camelid refers to any of the even-toed ungulates. Ungulates ಅಂತ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Ungulates ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ hoofed animals. ಈ hoof ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಕವುಗೆಲ್ಲ hoofs ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಅದರದ್ದು ಫೀಟ್. Camelidae, family Camelidae ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಕೆಳಗೆ camels, llamas, alpacas, guanacos, vicuñas ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅದರೊಳಗೆ. So they are known for their remarkable adaptations to arid and high altitude environments. Camels ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, arid ಮತ್ತೆ dry ಅಥವಾ desert ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು desert ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ camel ಅಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. Camels are also found in high altitude environments. ನಾವು ಈಗ Bactrian camel last week ನೋಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ, so previous week likewise. These ungulates can be classified into two major groups, old world ಮತ್ತೆ new world ಅಂತ. ಒಂದೊಂದು ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್, ನ್ಯೂ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ಏಷ್ಯಾ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ರೊಮೆಡರಿ ಕ್ಯಾಮಲ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿಯನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಮಲ್ಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಆನ್ ಟಾಪ್. ಉಳಿದಿರುವಂತದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ನ್ಯೂ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್, ಸೌತ್ ಅಮೆರಿಕದ. ಓಕೆ, ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಫಾಲೋವಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್. ಸೊ why we are focusing on it, ಯಾಕೆ of all the species UN camel ಮೇಲೆ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ we'll see. Here also there are different images are given. So camelids play a very important role in meeting the SDG. ಏನು sustainable development goals ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ UN is proposing. So camelids are source of milk, meat, which helps the people fight hunger. ಈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಹೈ ಆಲ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಏರಿಡ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೇ ಒಂದು ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಜನರಿಗೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ SDG, which is what is the first I think second goal, no poverty, zero hunger. Second, zero hunger na fight ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ help ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. They also provide fiber which can be used for clothing and shelter. Camelids are also used by people as a means of transportation. They also provide organic fertilizer which can be used in agriculture, like how a domestic on cattle na yav riti nodkoltivi aa riti, or any domestic animal. Camelids are known to survive in harsh conditions and they can thus be ambassadors to raise awareness about climate change. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇಯರ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಮೆಲಿಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಮಲ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಮಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್. ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿಯನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಮಲ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡ್ರೊಮೆಡರಿ ಕ್ಯಾಮಲ್. ಡ್ರೊಮೆಡರಿ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಸಿ ಇನ್ ಡೆಸರ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಡ್ರೊಮೆಡರಿ ಕ್ಯಾಮಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಯುನಿಕ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಮಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾಮಲ್ ಅಂತ. ಖರಾಯಿ ಕ್ಯಾಮಲ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್. KHARAI, ಖರಾಯಿ ಕ್ಯಾಮಲ್ಸ್. The only swimming camels of India where they can swim in the Gulf of Kutch region. ಅದು ಗುಜರಾತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು, ರಾಜಸ್ಥಾನ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಗುಜರಾತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, then defense news. Summer was recently in news. Indian Air Force has successfully test fired the Summer air defense missile system. Summer is air defense missile system. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ರೇಂಜ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಟು ಏರ್ ಮಿಸೈಲ್. Usually such questions will be there. They used to ask, maybe it will resurface again. Short range surface to air missile defense system to protect vulnerable areas and points from air attacks. It is obviously any missiles anta bandaga DRDO ne design and develop madutte. Is also developed by DRDO. So Summer, Indian Air Force, short range surface to air missile, surface to air, land to air, ashtu detail ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. Features usually ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, but still some of it. It is a short range air defense system. It has been developed under the IAF's Indian Air Force Maintenance Command. The system is credited with a maximum range of 10 to 12 kilometers and used against low flying aerial targets, not high, low flying aerial targets ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಇದನ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. It has a range of 10 to 12 kilometers. It can engage aerial threats with missiles operating at a speed of range of 2 to 2.5 Mach ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. Air aviation speed ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು Mach ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. Sound of the object and speed of the object and speed of the sound. ಇದರ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಮಗೆ Mach ನಂಬರ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೂಪರ್ಸಾನಿಕ್, ಹೈಪರ್ಸಾನಿಕ್, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಸಾನಿಕ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ. ಎಸ್, ಸೊ 2 to 2.5 Mach ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಸಮ್ಮರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ what do you call as details. So this is what we have in today's session. Okay, I have so today these are the topics we had. Hope I tried my best to mix up Kannada and English so that you followed it. Hope it is helpful. I'm just being mindful of, because it's for general, maybe it is published in YouTube also. If it will be helpful. That's the reason. Or else, hope it is okay for you. You followed the session. Any questions, if you have, you can ask. No questions means we'll wind up for today. We'll meet in the next class. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. See you soon. See you soon in the next class. And study well. Take care.